Good day! Today we're going to talk about the fundamentals of reading academic texts. Once again, I am Miss Laika Alarcon. Do you love reading and writing? And what makes you love or hate it? Well, when we say writing, it is a form of communication in which we put our ideas into writing materials. It is often shaped and may vary using these different factors. We have the topic, the role, the purpose, and the audience. And here are the factors which may affect your writing. The first one is the topic. The topic is the central idea of the text and may vary depending on the category. For example, the topic for the sports article is different from that of editorial article. And the second one is the role. The role is the position you are trying to portray as a writer. You can act as a teacher, a student, a lawyer, a doctor, and anyone that you wish to. And third is the purpose. The purpose is your reason for writing. It could either be to inform, to persuade, or to entertain your audience. Lastly is the audience. The audience is the recipient or the reader of the text, and your writing style may vary depending on the age group of your audience. Now let's differentiate academic versus non-academic text. Now let's discuss academic texts. Academic texts are objective, meaning that they are based on facts and with solid basis. Also, they are written by professionals. These professionals include doctors, architects, economists, lawyers, and among others. Since academic texts need intense writing and review, it takes years to publish them. Academic texts also use formal words and may often contain jargons or technical terms which may be related on a certain field. In addition, academic texts have lists of references where the authors base their information. Lastly, the main purpose for writing academic texts is to inform and to persuade the audience. Now let's move to non-academic texts. Non-academic texts are subjective. It means that they are based on opinions and one's point of view, which may be correct or incorrect. Also, non-academic texts are written for mass public. It means that anyone of any age group may read it. In contrast to academic texts, non-academic texts may take a shorter time to publish. Also, anyone could have a chance to write it, just like your Wattpad stories. Also, this kind of text normally use casual and informal language and may include slang and taglish. Lastly, these texts are written for the purpose of entertaining people. Now, here are the examples for academic and non-academic texts. As you can see, both of them are forms of writing. For academic texts, we have research paper, conference paper, feasibility study, thesis, book review, and academic journals. As you can see, these examples may be used as your reference for your school requirements. Lastly, we have these examples for non-academic texts, which includes newspaper, magazines, blogs or personal websites, Wattpad, and ebooks. Now let's proceed with the 4 important features of academic text. We have formality, objectivity, explicitness, and caution. For formality, it should be concise. It means that all of your sentences must be short, simple, and direct to the point. Second is objectivity, or being impersonal. It means that as a writer, you have to avoid giving your own opinions. Third is explicitness, where your statements need to be clear and detailed. It only means that you have to add examples and evidences to elaborate your statements. Lastly is caution, which means that your sentences must be constructed in a careful manner, which may show your level of professionalism. Now we're down to our last topic for this lesson, which is critical reading strategies. It includes these 3. We have BDA, or before, during, and after reading. We have SQ3R, or survey, question, read, recite, review. Last, we have KWL, or what you know, what you want to learn, and what you have learned. So here are the things that you have to remember before, during, and after reading a text. So before reading, you have to know the type of text that you are reading. It could either be academic or non-academic text. Also, you need to establish your purpose for reading. Is it to gain information, to discover something, or to be entertained? You also need to identify the author's purpose for writing. Is it to enlighten, to persuade, or to entertain the readers? Lastly, basing on the title of the text, you have to predict the storyline. It means that you have to construct your predictions and expectations about what would happen in the text. And now let's proceed to during the reading process, wherein annotating is very important. When we say annotate or annotating, it is the process of highlighting important information. It is done by underlining the key points and writing the keywords or the main ideas. Lastly is the step that you have to remember after reading the text. You have to reflect on what you have learned. It means that you have to check if you really understand the text by simply answering some questions. And here are the steps for SQ3R. Per survey, you may gain ideas about the text by checking the first few and last sentences. You may skim or scan through the text to check for information. Second, you have to create your own questions. For example, why is it titled as Criminals? What was the author's inspiration in naming the characters? Next step is to read. This time you have to look for answers to your questions, and you may stop or slow down if the passage is unclear. After that step is to recite. You have to write your own summary based on what you have understand. You may get a clean sheet to write your summary and then compare your work to the original text. Lastly, you have to review by answering some questions prepared for you or by answering the questions that you had made prior to reading the text. And here's an example for KWL method. For what we know, you will just simply write your prior knowledge about the text. Next is what we want to know. In here, you will just be writing your expectations about the text or the passage that you are reading. Lastly is the what we have learned. In here, you will be writing your realizations after reading the text or the passage. That would be all for today. I am Miss Laika B. Alarcon. If you have questions, you may message me on our GC, or if you have any clarifications, you may review or you may go back to the presentation because you will have a quiz afterwards. You just need to take it. You can find it under this presentation. So that would be all. Have a great day and enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you.